Greetings from the skies above the United Kingdom. I am en approach to London's enormous Heathrow airport on this little A319 Airbus, and after that I'll be set to connect on board American Airlines Flight 21 to Dallas. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Let's fly. After almost a year, it is time we revisit American Airlines. This time, however, we'll be covering a long-haul flight. We've just parked at Terminal 3, and I have about an hour to get through customs, security, and to find my gate before boarding begins. Fortunately, our gate will also be at this terminal. Unfortunately, the line for security was, well, quite long. Not as bad as last summer, but by the time I got through, my flight was about to begin boarding. Terminal 3 is where most of the SkyTeam and One World Alliance long-haul flights will operate, along with some British Airways domestic flights. Our gate will be 35, which is located in the northernmost area of Terminal 3. However, I still managed to make it with enough time to spare before economy would be called to board. My aircraft for today will be this Boeing 777-300 extended range. Now, I've flown on my fair share of 777s in the past, but funnily enough, they were all operated by United Airlines and were of the shorter 200 variant. 200s actually make up the majority of American's 777 fleet. In fact, there were quite a few of them parked in this gate area along with a Dreamliner here and there. I even saw one in the One World Alliance livery parked at the gate across from mine. But for my flight, the airline sent me one of the longer and newer 777-300s. It'll be November 730 Alpha November, 8 years old at the time. This one is equipped with the powerful General Electric GE90 engines, so I really wish I could be in a seat next to the engine, but I'm in economy as usual today. But at least I'll be in a window seat. Welcome on board! 23L will be my seat for the next 9 hours. But the first thing I noticed when I sat down was that, oh my goodness, this seat is so short. I am not exaggerating. Even with me not being a very tall person, most of my entire head was above the seat. And yeah, sure, I could raise the headrest, but even that wasn't enough for my head to rest the same way as on, well, literally every other long-haul flight I've taken. And what makes the situation even more hilarious is how the seats on American Airlines Oasis interior were taller than this. Their Oasis interior! I cannot imagine what this would be like for those who are 6 feet and above. And to give you more of an idea on how short these seats are, look how close this tray table is to my legs. Certainly no more than a centimeter or two. Like, this is so unacceptable that it's funny. And to remind everyone, this isn't a low-cost carrier. And then there's the legroom. For a long-haul flight, this is okay at best. But I have seen better on short-haul flights. Also, be aware that the space under the window seats is more restricted. Okay, that's it for my rant about the seats. Let's continue. I gotta give them credit for this blanket, as it's better quality than what I see often, and they also have a pillow. In addition, complimentary earbuds were available. The in-flight entertainment screen, which we'll check out later, is a touch screen, but you can also control it with this remote, similar to British Airways on the A380. And of course, they have a power outlet. And while the tray table is super close to my knees, well, at least it's double extending. I like that.
We all do it for one reason. If you have a handheld device, please switch it to airplane mode now. If your electronic device falls into your seat, please do not adjust your seat and contact a crew member for assistance at any time. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying smoke questions, please refer to the safety card or before we left the gate per FAA.
That'll be visible on both sides of the aircraft just about 3.5 hours into the trip. From there, we'll head over towards the very northeast course.
Lunch service began eventually. Out of the two options, I chose the meatballs. The meatball entree included mashed potatoes and green beans, and there was also this roll of bread, some crackers, bottle of water, carrot cake for dessert, a salad, cream cheese and butter spreads, and finally some utensils. And I chose a ginger ale for my drink. Being honest, I've never been a fan of meals on US carriers, but this one wasn't that bad, somewhat above mediocre. Later, the cabin crew came around again with a choice of coffee or tea. I chose a tea with some sugar. Now we'll take a look at the screens. One thing I love about US carriers is that their selection of entertainment is usually enormous, and American Airlines is no exception. There was a ton of movies, TV shows, and music available, and it also included information on seats and destinations. It also had a flight map, of course. However, the problem with these screens is that they are highly unresponsive. Given what I've seen on other US carriers, I expected better than that. Before I knew it, cabin crew came around again with some chocolate ice cream. I did not expect this at all. They also offered more drinks, from which I chose a Coke. As we were above the United States, the crew came around with a final round of food service, which consisted of this tuna sandwich and this dessert pastry. They both tasted good, and for my drink I went for an orange juice.
Find your way into this wonderland. Cross the maze, the dark, the innocent. Chase the faith, the thrill, the heaven sent. I got you wild upside down. The labyrinth will guide you far away to a place where senses will decay. Your ghost and mind will show.
6,000 feet, about 160 miles from Dallas Fort Worth. We've got just about 30 minutes for choosing American Airlines. We look forward to serving you once again on American in the very near future. 5 minutes, please prepare for landing. Thank you.
I got you wild upside down. Upside down.
Take a moment to check your seat back pocket for any personal items, like tablets and so on.
You do not need to reclaim your checked luggage, as your checked luggage will continue on to your international flight. All other passengers making a connecting flight within the United States, or if this is your final destination, you must reclaim your checked luggage before clearing the customs area.
Sunny day in Dallas, not a single cloud in sight. This flight with American Airlines was a mixed bag. The catering was decent, the cabin crew were good. They didn't seem rude at all, and they were just kinda there, I guess. I never encountered a problem with them. They did their jobs very well. Also, I was impressed by the flight's timely performance since we arrived about 45 minutes ahead of schedule. The entertainment selection, incredible. I just wish they'd get better screens. But as you'll probably expect, my main criticism for American Airlines is about the seats. I think I already made my point when I mentioned how short they were and how I was too tall for the headrest. For a long-haul flight, that is unacceptable. I've flown airlines like United plenty of times and never had this problem. The only positive thing I have to say about the seats is the padding, to be honest. However, I also want to mention how this is the only long-haul aircraft type I've taken with this airline, and I'm not going to exclude the possibility that it's an issue specific to this aircraft type. The Boeing 777 was originally built for a 9-abreast economy configuration. But of course, airlines started cramming in a 10th seat since they gotta make that cold hard cash. And yeah, it is on American Airlines for jumping on that bandwagon. But it might be the reason why the seats on this plane are so short, and maybe, just maybe, it's different on the rest of their long-haul fleet, like on the 787 Dreamliners. I know that AA has different seats on the Dash 8 variants, so it's a possibility. If any of you viewers have flown on American's 787 Dreamliner, please let me know in the comments if it's any more comfortable than their 777. My final score for this flight will be a solid 7 out of 10. Again, this flight was a mixed bag. In general, it was decent, but the seats brought it down a lot. So, I'm willing to try them again on one of their other long-haul aircraft. But one thing for sure is that I'll be avoiding their Boeing 777, and I recommend you all do the same, especially if you're above like 5'5" or something around there.
Please verify disarm doors, and roll call.